I've seen some stuff recently, people saying like San Jose's not the Bay, and I'm like, you're tripping.
It is. Especially in terms of culture, too. It's definitely part of the Bay Area.
Yeah. Like, Stockton's not the Bay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's too far away.
That's way
like
too far.
Like Modesto's not the Bay.
Fairfield's not the
Fairfield.
Bay.
No, Fairfield's the Bay.
You think Fairfield's the Bay?
Fairfield's
Look
the
in
Bay.
the fucking camera and tell.
Fairfield's the Bay Area. There was that group I used to fuck with in high school. What are they called? Damn. They were from Fairfield.
The fake Bay Aryans? Is what
You're fucked up. I'm gonna find that song and be like, what the fuck?
A town is a part of the Bay Area as long as it has an ABG there, is what I'm thinking.
That's a lot, though.
If you go to...
That's a lot of places, Christian.
Vacaville does not have many Asian girls with long-ass eyelashes there.
True, but Fairfield does.
And San Jose's full of them. Okay. Yeah, okay.
San Jose's for sure full of them.
Oh, man, San Jose.
San Jose is basically like an Asian country, honestly.
San Jose is a bigger seafood city. Is what it is. It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad.
This is so cool. I've been, I think every artist like watches hella interviews and is like, I can't wait till I do that one day.
Uh-huh.
Now we're here.
That's what it feels like?
This is the first one, for real.
What? For real? Here,
first actual. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Thank you. Please do the thing. There we go. This is the first like actual. Like I've done like podcast episodes where, like my friends talk to me, but it's different when it's like a whole podcast set up.
Ah, dude.
Like a show.
I mean, it's always an honor when I'm the person that pops the podcast cherry on some people.
Yeah.
I hate phrasing it like that sometimes, but I mean, it's a good analogy.
We all get what you're saying.
Everyone understands how it is, dude. But like, welcome to the podcast,
bro,
man.
Thank you.
Let me give you a proper introduction for the baddies, for the listeners out there. So baddies, welcome to another episode of ICB2B Podcast, also known as It Can't Be That Bad Podcast. Today, I got someone dope, someone with really good energy and vibes. I got Ay Gabe in the motherfucking studio. What's up, dude?
Bro, I'm feeling really good.
I feel good too because we kind of just bonded in a weird way where you saw me almost have a breakdown. Like I just had a meltdown because I had a piece of equipment that wasn't working.
Yeah, Reaper was fucking you up.
Yeah, my DAW was fucking me up, man. And you just stayed calm here the entire time.
Yeah.
You must be good in relationships. Is this true?
Yes, very. I've never been in a fight.
Whoa.
For real.
Whoa.
Like there's been like argument, a little bit of disagreement, but I've never once yelled at a partner.
Whoa.
Not once.
Really good.
Never.
That's really good.
Yeah.
You seem like a very patient individual.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Probably my dad.
Mm.
My dad's super patient.
Okay.
Very. So I think his like demeanor, his calmness and shit, I think I definitely got that from, and then I guess some of my own genetics. But
that's dope, dude.
I just don't trip off a lot of shit, honestly.
Because when it comes down to it, I mean, that's something. I've always been a nice guy, and I've always been not necessarily calm. Like I've definitely had some like angry moments, but I think it's when you get older, especially because you and I we're turning to some OGs. We're
31, brother.
31, brother. Shit doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Half the time.
Yeah.
Right?
You realize what actually is important.
Yeah.
And what's not worth putting any energy into.
Mm-hmm.
For real. Like that's why like even working at a job like a barista where it gets like really busy sometimes. And like people start tripping. Yeah. Like getting frazzled and worried. I'm like, this is literally coffee.
The workers or the customers?
Both.
Wow.
I'm like, bro, this is literally coffee. Like, if they wait 10 minutes, who fucking cares? We're not trying to like make people wait and like, fuck their timing up.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, it's like, this is not serious. It's a latte. Like, why are we tripping?
Yeah, it's always kind of like confused me when some white divorced mom in Walnut Creek at the age of 47 is just like not getting her white caramel latte with 2 pumps of chocolate and it's not a venti, it's not, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're tripping because it's been 2 minutes and they haven't yelled Samantha yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and working in something like that, I mean, working in any type of customer service really just tests your patience.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've worked my whole life in the service industry,
mm-hmm.
food service. So
wow.
I've been, and like I was telling you earlier that that Nordstrom restaurant I used to work at, like when I was there, the Christmas time was the most insane shit. Because it was a whole like big middle section of the restaurant. They had 2 long wings, and during Christmas season, like all of December, I think it would open at like 11 o'clock and close at like 9. From 11 to 9, the entire restaurant was full.
Wow.
Every minute of every hour.
Wow.
And it was like hour and a half wait list, just like packed. Because everyone this was before the pandemic, so everyone was shopping in person. Yeah, for real.
It's kind of crazy when humans get dumber in larger numbers. And it's ironic how humans become assholes during the holidays.
Yeah. The cheeriest, jolliest time of the year.
Yeah.
And people are just like pissed off.
Oh man, you're looking for a turkey right before Thanksgiving or the day of Thanksgiving, where we're supposed to be giving thanks.
They will fight you.
But moms will slit a throat for a turkey, for the real. Last turkey at a Safeway.
For real.
It's so backwards, right?
Yeah, it's not really. It kind of speaks to how all that stuff is like not really about the actual meaning of the holiday. It's just about whatever people think is important. Like the gift giving.
Yeah.
They're not actually like about like the holiday, like the fun of like Christmas. It's like, it's all about like, oh, I got to get a present for this person. It's like, are we celebrating? Are we hanging out? Or are you just worried about buying shit?
I know. Because truly, the true present of the holidays is our presents.
Ain't nobody want to hear that shit. Nobody wants to hear my presence is a present. Kiss my ass. No one wants to hear that
shit. Give me
shit.
Fucking Transformers action figure, man.
Yeah. No one wants to hear that shit.
What were you kind of hoping for as a kid during Christmas? Where were some of the gifts that you wanted?
Honestly, just like toys, and then I got to like video games. I remember I was just talking to someone a little while ago. I'm like, I remember like getting clothes as a kid and being so pissed off.
Oh, dude.
Getting jeans and shirts. And now, if I got clothes as a gift, I'd be like, this is great.
I mean, I remember, were you the type of kid with whoever you celebrated Christmas with, you guys had to wait until midnight from like Christmas Eve, and then it hits midnight and you were to open it?
Yeah. We would wait till like 25th, 12 a.m.
Yeah, same here. And then I remember I would be pissed if I would shake everything like at 11:55. I would shake every single gift that I got.
Do a test run.
And you can tell if it was clothes. You can tell if it was that stupid fucking Macy's box.
The little thin one.
Yeah.
The little thin cardboard with the paper inside.
Yeah, why would you give me that? Like, I'm going to grow out of these clothes. So give me something that lasts forever.
Yeah.
My Lord of the Rings action figure.
That I still have on my shelf here.
As you can see, I grew up with a lot of toys. Nah, dude. Thanks for coming on. You do have a really good energy, and it translates not only in our interaction. We've only known each other for maybe a few hours now,
like 2 hours.
But I could tell a lot from like just chopping it up with you. And you take that kind of energy and you put it into your music. In a day and age where people that rap could easily talk about fucking bitches, getting bread, and then shooting people on the street. You know, it's yours is. It's a lot of self-reflection, which comes with the title of the album, Objects in the Mirror, and the cover art too. It's a lot of self-reflection, it's a lot of self-love, and it's a lot of just kind of like dismantling yourself. I mean, talk about it, dude. Let's talk about the music.
Yeah. The album, so I spent like a year and a half, 2 years making this album, and it kind of just formed on its own. I didn't ever sit down and say, I want to make an album. This is like 2021. Where I like maybe had a song or two that ended up being on the album. I think like mid 2021, I had like, it was going to be an EP originally, because I only had like 4 or 5 songs at the time. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to make an EP. It'd be my first like rap project, actual like compilation of some kind. And it slowly evolved more and more into an album. So I thought I was going to put it out like August 2021 as an EP. Realized I wasn't ready, so I kept like doing stuff, making stuff. I ended up adding stuff to it. Then I thought August 22, I thought I was going to put it out. And then May 23, I thought I'd put it out. And I still didn't put it out. And then I had, at that point, I probably had like 8 of the songs. 7 or 8 of the songs at that point. Then I ended up making, I think I made the outro song Grip sometime in like the middle of 23. And then I think that was everything that I had, all the songs in some form, and I was working on finishing that. But it just happened.
Yeah.
And I guess I just had all these songs that made sense together, had like similar topics. They all like had a thread that went through. And so I decided to just put them all into one thing and make an album. That's kind of how it happened.
Wow. I like how it was organic.
Very.
Yeah. And how with that, it kind of, now there's a through point. There's like basically a mantra with the album, like from beginning to end. And also I got to say, shout out to the way you open up the album. Like I'm a sucker for acapella intros into, it's kind of just like,
that's something you like.
Hey, welcome to the vibe, it is cool, dude. And it has to be a big accomplishment to come out with like your first full length album after years of making music. I saw that you've been making music since 2020, since like the pandemic.
Yeah, like, I was even making it like 2017 was when I started to take it serious.
Ah, I see.
Which serious at that time meant just releasing music on a somewhat consistent basis. That's what serious meant at that time for me.
Yeah.
And 2020 was the first time I put out any project. I put out 2 instrumental tapes in 2020, 2 beat tapes.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I did like any project of some kind. So that got even more serious. But then it took 4 years longer for me to actually do an album and be like, now, like I was talking to you earlier, like this shit is really real. Like this shit's really real now. Like I'm actually like, I can fully say I'm I'm working to be a career artist at this point.
You're receiving the fruits of your labor, because there's a difference between working on your passion on the side, which is fulfilling for people if that's what you want. But there's like a difference in some people's mindsets and their motivation, where it's like, nah, it's this and nothing else, right?
Yeah.
And it's cool to see the journey, man. Like when I was doing research on you and I was like going all the way down on like Instagram, like it was cool to see both sides of of producer Gabe and like rapper Gabe.
Yeah.
And there's videos of you making beats, which is cool. And I gotta say, like where you put the snares and the hi-hats, very, very tasteful. Because it's not conventional.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
what I pride myself on.
It's really cool. It's really cool. And you have this video of you like you made a visual to Factual, and that's a long
the upside down one.
Yes, sir.
I forgot about that shit.
Yeah.
Damn. Is that song? I don't even know if that put that song back on streaming. Maybe it is. It's on SoundCloud, I think.
I think it is on streaming.
I forgot about that video.
Yeah, because even in the captions, you're talking about like how you're really trying to be more intentional as a rapper, and like you find it hard. You were finding some difficulty in like trying to make some like verses to like remixes of already made beats, and to see the transition of like kind of this Gabe that existed during COVID, during quarantine, into Gabe who he is now in 2024. What's that kind of like arc been like?
It's been a lot different, because at that point, like 2020, I had a whole vision of being like just a producer.
Yeah,
I didn't even want to like really like make my own songs. I just want to like make beats. I want to sell my own sample packs. I even did this whole thing where I made like a whole like sound like sample pack that I was gonna sell. I had like a whole branding for it.
Wow.
I was like set on. That's when like you saw those videos of me making beats on YouTube. I was like, I had a stretch of like 4 or 5 months where I was like consistently doing like 2 beats a week on YouTube, with a beat making video along with that. So I was like really trying to like push that and like get in the YouTube algorithm and have people find my shit.
Yeah, which
it never really went anywhere. And I also like started to not enjoy it. But that's where I started. I was always still making some songs. So whatever that I was making some songs part was, that's what ended up coming into being Objects in the Mirror. But I thought I was going to be a producer and like be selling loop packs and doing that whole shit, because I was trying to find a way to make money off music. And so I thought that's what it was going to be.
And that was, as much as you can make money off of that, that's still obviously you were able to identify that wasn't fulfilling you.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you're like, yeah, I'm going to try to spit something on this thing? And then you were like, actually, I'm going to start doing it.
Probably like 2009, 8 or 9. So my best friend Lee, his artist name is Leezy the Gifted. We went to that private Jewish high school together. That's where I met him. We were there for that 1 year together. he's been like writing and like he used to record like songs on his like iMac speaker, like the big ass desktop.
Yeah,
recording shit on there. He's like, he was doing it at that point. This is like 2007. So he's always been really serious about music. He started like he put out his first like mixtape in like 2011. He was recording songs with friends in high school. And he's still like an artist today, doing really cool shit. But I just kind of like being around him. I would just sometimes write a verse, sometimes record some stuff with him.
mm-hmm.
You know, that was kind of like little by little. I was just doing it. But even like he always brings up the people. I was saying back then like, oh, I'm never gonna rap. Like I don't want to do this shit.
Whoa. Okay.
Ever. And so he always is like, I remember you and he was telling me, I was like, you're gonna rap, just so you know. And then that happened. He was like, and then I was like, I'm not gonna produce.
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, you're gonna produce. And then that ends up happening again. So it's like these things I do now, I never even planned on doing them.
Wow.
But him and my other really great friend Melvin, they were both like, they saw something in me when I was objectively bad at this, but whatever they saw, they were like, no, we know you're gonna do this. And so over time it just kind of kicking it with them and making songs here and there, writing a verse, like it became what it became today.
Yeah, it's cool to like have some people, to have your close homies believe in you, or just anyone believe in you in this kind of art form where if you have no one, you could give up and you can never find out how far you truly could have gone, right?
Yeah.
Dang, dude. And you guys were making beats and rapping in a private Jewish school?
We weren't even making beats at that point. We were just like writing to whatever was like, it's like beats off YouTube maybe.
Already existed. I see.
Like Lee didn't start producing until he finished Chico State. And this was like 2016 or 17.
Okay.
He started to learn how to make beats, and then he learned piano, and now he like knows how to play piano really well and do that shit. And I didn't start really producing until 2016. Probably. I think he probably started like 2015-ish.
It seems so daunting, man. Like because I've thought about, like, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes my fiance and I will have these conversations. Like she'll tell me she's kind of like a ratchet, like little Asian girl that likes to like throw her ass, right? And I joke around. I'll be like, I want to make a ratchet type beat for you,
bro.
But I could, and I've gone as far as downloading FL Studio.
Okay,
and that's as far as I got,
bro. All you need is Splice. That's it. $8 a month. You get the loop you need, and then you put those drums on it.
You as a producer, what do you think is the key to the perfect ratchet type beat, to the perfect like mustard type beat?
You need like, so I was just watching Kendrick's performance in LA yesterday.
Yeah.
So he did Not Like Us like 5 fucking times. That's a mustard beat.
Yeah. Well, he did it 5 times at that performance?
5, maybe 6. I saw different stories about it. But he did like, that beat is like, it's a real like bouncy, but also kind of like menacing piano.
Yeah.
It's just that, and then it's just like simple ass drum that just hit hard as shit.
Yeah.
You need like
something on the
hi-hat
offbeat too. Yeah, that. And then what was the phase of like the the offbeat like A's in the background?
That was I always, when I hear that sound, that chant, I think of Mustard and I Am Soup. The two people I think of, they use that shit in so many beats.
I think of me in high school not getting girls. I think of me like, yeah. I think of homecoming dances, or it was like, I'm not gonna dance with anyone.
Lonely boy.
Yeah, lonely, introspective, sensitive boy is what I was. Nah, but like it's so cool, the evolution of music, to be able to like have a Mustard beat come back. Well, you know, like DJ Mustard's been around, but to like the type of beats that he made was something that we would get down to when we were in high school, and that shit still kind of is like what makes us gig in 2024.
I think I saw this was his first ever #1.
Wow, really?
Which as Mustard is crazy because he's like gotta be a multi-platinum producer. He's like one of the most prolific producers of the last like 10 plus years.
But he's
never
had
Not Like Us was his first #1.
That's insane.
Might be wrong, but I think I saw that. It was like, people were surprised.
Were you deep into hip hop as a kid? Or was it like a newer passion?
It was like high school when I really got into it, because I didn't really, like back in like 04, 05, there was like this like Yahoo Music Radio thing. This is before streaming, bro. I'm old enough to know like older shit.
That's hella funny.
But and you could only skip like 3 songs an hour, and it would just like otherwise just play, I guess like popping songs. So I chose like the hip hop station, and that's why I heard songs like, right there. I heard like, maybe like Blueberry Yum Yum by Ludacris. It was like that era.
And you were discovering this.
Yes. But I never like intentionally looked for music until kind of 07, 08, but then not for real till like 2011. Honestly, like, because it was my parents would play a ton of music in the house growing up of all kinds of shit.
Do you know specifically what they're playing?
They're playing, they had, I think there's an older group called War. There's a group called War. There's, what they call Tower of Power. I remember my dad had tons of CDs and tapes. They were playing a bunch of like really random, like different regions of African music, different Caribbean music, a lot of salsa music,
nice,
cumbia music. They're playing funk. I remember when I went to like first really deep dive into Sade.
Yeah.
And I listened to the song. My mom been playing that song. What's her most famous song? I'm blanking on it.
Let me look it up.
She
has a bunch. Song. What's your guess? While I look it up.
For some reason, my brain wants to say like it's something elevator, but it's not elevator.
Her most downloaded song.
What is it called?
Is Smooth Operator.
Elevator. The fuck? That one. I heard that song so many times growing up, but I never knew it was Sade.
Yeah.
So I went to listen to the album. I'm like, oh, this is Sade.
That's the thing with music. A lot of artists that popped off in the past will pop off of like a certain single or the lead single from their album, and then people will know them for that. Yeah. But if you just take the time to listen to the rest of their, like Stevie Wonder, when you say Stevie Wonder, we all think Isn't She Lovely? We think My Sharia More. We think Superstition. But if you were to like look at the rest of the songs on those albums, you're gonna find some gems, man.
Dude, going back to like listen to R&B Money podcast, I've been saving so many albums. Yeah, I've gone and saved like 3 Stevie albums recently to listen to. I've never listened to a whole Stevie album.
You should
in my life. So I have like Songs in the Key of Life saved and like 2 other ones. I'm like, I need to listen to this shit. So that's in the process. So to your point, it's like I'm gonna find so much cool shit. Yeah, that I've never heard,
and that's gonna like elevate anyone's musicianship because like there's some unconventional type of things that happen in like Stevie Wonder's music. I mean, can you imagine? It's sometimes I wish I was blind so I won't be distracted by with that sense. Yeah. That I could just see sounds and just get really good at music, you know?
Yeah, you're just tapped into like frequencies so strongly.
Yeah, well, like what do you feel when what's the thing that brings you the most dopamine? Is it producing and rapping on something that you produced? Is it live performance or what is it?
As far as like production, it's making the drums. Like that's my focus. The melody is like important and it's like there, but for me, it's all about percussion and different percussion patterns and rhythms. And I kind of like don't enjoy recording. Why? But I don't know. I have this weird thing about like avoiding recording. Like I don't.
Like so you'll have the lyrics written down. You'll have the beat produced. Yeah. And it's just you get to the studio, you're like,
don't want to record
tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Which it's my home studio, so I'm putting it off as many times as I want to.
What is it? Why?
It's something along the lines of like sometimes I'll hear it in my head a certain way, and then when it comes out in real life, it doesn't sound the way I envisioned it, and it throws me off. I've gotten better with it. But it's something about the process of recording I just don't really enjoy. I'm not sure what the full like reason is.
Has it gotten any easier though?
It's definitely gotten easier. Good. Yeah, I've learned how to like record better and how to For a long time, it was like I think I was hesitant to like fully like just rap how I wanted to or how I heard it in my head. I would kind of like hold back even if I was by myself in my room. I just kind of hold back from rapping fully. And now, especially like the songs I finished for this album, when I got down to the end, I was more maybe in character, you could say, or more like I was committed to the actual like delivery and the cadence that I wanted to go for.
And you have to be. That's the thing.
For sure.
When you're making your art is you.
Yeah.
And what is your art if you're filtering yourself or holding back from who Gabe truly is, right?
Yeah.
And there's some really cool things in that album I haven't heard in anything else. Like, I mean, I like the way that there's some time signature changes. Like in the middle of a track, dude. I'm a sucker for acapella intros for time signature changes.
There we go.
I was in drumline and I was in marching band, so like I have some theory in my pocket, but I got some like dope ass musician friends, so that like when there's a time signature change and then like you reach a new pocket, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely how composure went for sure. It went from my verse to the hook. It's not. Oh my bad. It's not. Yeah, it's not the same. I think even technically. The beat from my verse is in 3/4.
Yeah,
I think it's all 3/4 technically or some shit. I don't even know. But yeah, the way I half timed it for the hook even throws you off a little bit.
Stuff like that. Everyone wants to be surprised a little bit, unless you're like a woo girl that goes to the club and you want the same 4/4 beat the entire time. Right. That's fine. Go drink your AMF. But nah, it's cool because like there's some things in there that could cause the musician face. You know, the musician face where people are like,
what's that?
Oh, okay. Yeah, dude. And you're no stranger to live performance, which is like a very important aspect of being an artist. I mean, so you've done it before. You had your release party. How was that?
It was so sick. It was like it was the most fulfilling music moment I've had so far.
Of all time. Wow.
Yeah. It's probably up there too. I had my first ever like solo, my first ever headlining show that I organized last June. And that was awesome. It was like a packed venue.
Nice.
And that was like the first time I performed any of these album songs. Some of them weren't even finished at the time, but I performed some of them in some capacity. Between that and the release party is probably the two biggest ones. But it was something about the energy of like this venue. Like when I did that show last year, I rented out an art gallery.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't like a setting that was made for socializing. So it's a little more like people who were there together were like in little pockets.
Okay.
People weren't really like overlapping and talking. But the release party was at an actual like lounge. It's called Nectar Social Club.
There
so
you
like
go.
It's in the name. And like people like I heard from so many people that like, oh, I met this person, we were talking, like all these communities are overlapping.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of the setting kind of made it for a more communal space to be had.
That's cool, dude. And that shit's important. And that's the beautiful part about like the Bay Area music scene. Because like, I don't know, we were talking about like LA and I'm unfamiliar with the LA music scene, but I could imagine that like events aren't as welcoming as like a Bay Area music event, you know?
Yeah. I feel like it's just like they're there in LA, but you got to go to all those suburbs and find it out there. It's just, I think it's more spread out.
Yeah.
Whereas the Bay it's the smallest big area in the country, I think.
The smallest big area.
Where it's like, it's a landmark. You know about San Francisco and Oakland. They're world famous. But in reality, they're small as fuck.
That is true.
LA has like 40 million people.
There's so many people.
Like SF is literally a couple million and it's compacted.
Everything is right next to each other.
Oakland's big, but it's not that big. Like, it's really small.
You moved from New Orleans.
Yeah.
To here. Like when what caused the move?
Hurricane Katrina.
Oh, fuck,
yeah, that's
dude.
why I came. It was a long time ago.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Dude, Hurricane Katrina just... Wow, man. Okay, how old were you when that happened?
I was 12.
And what was that like? How much of it affected? Did it like destroy your home or just like homes adjacent to where you guys live? Did it?
Adjacent, yeah. My like grandpa, like aunt, uncle, cousin's house was totally flooded. Our house wasn't, for some like little like couple block area wasn't flooded, but then there was like an area like 2 blocks away, closer to the lake, I guess at like a slightly lower elevation, and there all the way towards the lake was done.
Oh,
so we evacuated. We left the day before it made landfall. We drove to Memphis.
Oh man!
And while we're in Memphis, that next day, that's when we saw in the news the levees broke. So at that point, we don't know the extent of anything. We just know like potentially everything's gone.
Yeah. So you guys had to. I mean, how was that as a 12-year-old to notice that this place that you've lived for and like for your entire life kind of just went to shit because of a natural catastrophe. Like, what was that like? Did you just have to like pick up whatever belongings you could and it was like get out as fast as you can type of thing?
Yeah, so it made landfall like on a Monday, and we left like Sunday afternoon, and basically just packed what we could. First, we didn't like pack the house up. We just packed like pretty much just clothes, like a few bags of clothes and some stuff. I didn't like looking back at that age. I didn't really have a full like. I wasn't really able to understand how monumental it was at that time. Like, I can't imagine what my parents were going through, being a full adults, like having to like deal with. We don't know if the place we've lived even exists anymore. But for me, it was like almost kind of like it was a vacation because I was just too young to really grasp what was happening for real. So like looking back later on in life, I was like, wow, that's actually really crazy what happened. Yeah. Because it doesn't, in the moment, it didn't feel like it was as crazy as it actually was. And that's a testament to my parents being able to keep themselves together enough for me to not like freak out or some shit or, you know, worry.
Especially having a kid. Yeah. And having to keep your calm for not only your own sanity, but for like the sanity and safety of your child. Because that was something that we saw. I mean, growing up here, I mean, that's something that we were all seeing on the news was Hurricane Katrina.
It was one of like the biggest natural disasters at the time in like U.S. history.
Yeah, dude.
Basically, which is crazy.
And so that was what propelled you guys to move. I mean, was that the first choice that your parents had? Was like, okay, we're gonna go west. We're gonna go live in the Bay Area.
From Memphis, we ended up living in a Holiday Inn in Arlington, Texas for a month because my cousin was working for Hilton at the time.
Interesting.
So all their hotels and affiliates were letting their employees and their employees' families stay for free at wherever they were going to. So we drove from Memphis to Arlington and stayed in the Holiday Inn for a month. And then we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do. This was before they even thought about going back to see what was left of the home. But it was either like stay in Texas or go somewhere else. My mom was like, not staying in Texas. This shit's too big. I don't like this shit. My family ended up staying there. My aunt, uncle, and them. My cousin ended up going back to New Orleans eventually. But my mom was like, no, I'm not going to stay there. And my parents had wanted to move to the Bay Area. That was like their dream, like in the future. They'd also just opened a restaurant that summer. Like their own Latin fusion restaurant in like May of that year. And it was starting to pop off. They were like 2-3 months in, and then that whole thing just like wrecked their like dream. So they were like planning on like, oh, once we do this and you go to high school, maybe we'll move to the Bay Area in the future. So with this shit happened, they were like, well, we wanted to, so let's just do it now. And there was this this website that had popped up at the time called hurricanehousing.org, where people were listing their homes as places for people who have fled the area to stay in temporarily to get back on their feet. And there were these two women living right off Lake Merritt in Oakland with an apartment. And I guess my parents got in contact with them, and we ended up driving from Arlington to Oakland with whatever we still had on us, and we ended up living with them for like probably 5 months. Wow. 4 or 5 months, somewhere around there. Yeah, and that's how we ended up here.
Wow, dude. I mean, it's kind of, that's insane. I mean, I don't know, what did that do to your psyche? I mean, you weren't able to really fully understand it. Yeah. I mean, to this day, I mean, what does it hit you sometimes? Like, goddamn, like, oh, we had to pack our bags because one of the biggest natural disasters happened right next door.
It definitely, like, looking back now, it's like, that shit's actually insane that we got out of that. We didn't have to deal with all the things that happened to a lot of people who got stuck in the city. It more so, it's kind of odd because I don't really like I love my close friends like forever, but like I don't have like full lifelong friends. That makes sense. Like I don't have somebody I knew from like kindergarten. Like I had friends up until that point, but after we left, that we kind of like lost communication. There also wasn't really social media at that time.
That's true.
In like 2005, there wasn't really anything. At least I wasn't tapped into it. So there's no way to really stay in touch with people. And also, like, for a while, we didn't even know where people went. Like, we didn't know where they had moved to. They moved back. We didn't know where anyone really was that we had known before. So it was hard when I got here because I just didn't know anybody. And so I was always like the brand new kid. And then I also like I had to tell this same story over.
Oh, so like what brought you to the Bay Area?
And it's the hurricane, or like they even like know like preface like, oh, this kid's moving from New Orleans because they all this. So it's like I was almost like on like autopilot with this story where it kind of like numbed me to what happened because I'm saying the same thing the same way over and over and over and over.
Fuck, dude, I feel bad for asking this question. Should have done better research.
It was those first like 2-3 years where it almost felt like I was just reading a script.
Yeah,
because I was just saying, oh yeah, like this same thing I just told you. Like I went to Memphis and Arlington. Like I would say the same exact story to so many people. Every time I told them where I'm from, they're like, brought you here. Yeah. Oh my God. And that happens. So it's like, it almost made me like not even feel like I really lived it in a way, but I also like had to keep like telling the story to new people.
Yeah. You were desensitized to the objective happenings of Hurricane Katrina because it just became so part of your everyday story. Right?
Yeah. And I think it kind of became like a part of my like persona.
Wow.
I was always like, oh, I had this story. You know, I came from here because
of like your identity.
Lightweight in a way early on when I was like, like 12 to 14, 15. Because it was just like, everyone wanted to know. And like, I was the most unique person in that sense because everyone else is from the Bay and grew up with each other and went to elementary and middle school.
Damn, dude.
So
I feel so silly because when you said you're from New Orleans, I got excited. I was like, oh shit, because the music scene,
it's still sick.
The music and jazz scene in there, and I'm like, oh, the food, all of the seafood there.
Bro.
And then I was hoping that you'd be like, oh, because we just wanted a different pace of life, so we moved to the Bay Area. And right when you said Hurricane Katrina, that entire vision of all of that kind of went away in my brain. But were you able to experience that kind of? Bro, downtown, what's typically depicted?
I went to Mardi Gras every year in my life.
That's insane.
Like I still have like this big plastic Coke bottle full of like the coolest beads I collected.
What's going to Mardi Gras every year before the age of 12 like? Because you can't do any of the cool things.
For me, the cool shit was like trying to get like the coolest stuffed animals, like being right up there next to the float and like throw me something, just like yelling on someone's shoulders. Like that was the cool shit. Or like looking for like that really unique bead like that has like a cool like little like medallion on it, or like getting like really cool medallions that get thrown. Like that was fun for me, collecting cool shit. So I still have like a stockpile of like really cool stuffed animals from the parades and cool beads.
That's so cool.
So for me, that was because I was a kid, so all I give a fuck about was just getting toys and beads, you know.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. You're not even focused on all the fucked up people out there, all the women flashing their tits.
I don't even know if I ever saw like a full like pair of titties when I was out there.
I'm sorry. Oh, dude.
As a kid, you know what I mean?
I don't know whether to say like congratulations for not focusing on that, or just I'm sorry.
Maybe I did. I just don't remember it, but definitely wasn't tapped into that realm.
Oh man, you'd remember.
Oh yeah.
You might remember. How close do you think you'd be? Whoa, how come her chest is bigger than mine?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Because, if I was a kid in Mardi Gras, I think I was one of those kids where if I were to be watching a movie with my parents and it was rated R and there was a sex scene, they would tell me to cover my eyes.
You're like...
Yeah, and I'd be like, peek through your fingers.
Yeah.
Or I'd pretend to be asleep.
Yeah, that worked, I'm sure.
That worked because we're Asian, so my eyes are already small. So
your parents like, you must be asleep.
Yeah, I'll be looking awake as hell at work, and someone asks if I'm sleeping, and I'll be like, "That's racist."
Fuck off.
But dude, that's that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Bay Area.
19 years later. And what's crazy is like, it's so long ago, and I was literally 12. Like, I actually grew up out here, so I feel like I am a Bay local. Like,
yeah,
I gauge if you're like a real Bay local if you just get on BART and go where you're going without not knowing. Like, you know where to go.
I'm directionally challenged, and I consider myself a Bay local because I was born and raised in the Bay Area. So even if I get on BART,
you're further up though.
You're right.
You said you moved to like Benicia hella young. Like, there's no BART out here.
There's nothing in here. I don't know. And like Benicia, it's crazy to think that Benicia is part of the Bay Area because it is. It definitely is.
Oh, for sure.
But
we can have that discussion on shit, but it is part of the Bay.
You know, when you say the Bay Area, we're thinking San Francisco, we're thinking Berkeley and Oakland, right? There's culture deep engraved in there. But then when you say Benicia, I'm thinking an old white couple walking along the marina.
That's probably accurate.
Yeah.
As far as I know. I mean, it's probably way more like Asian now. For sure. I feel like there's a lot more like Filipino, specifically people that live out here.
When I first moved to Benicia, there were barely any Filipinos that I was turning heads.
Oh wow!
When I would,
who's this kid?
Yeah, whoa! This look at this brownie. You know,
brownie, fudge brownie.
There was a lot of microaggressions going on.
I bet
in Benicia, but yeah, it's when I think about that, when I think about Benicia, when I think about places like Danville and San Ramon, I mean, it is all still the Bay Area. Where do you think the Bay Area ends? This is a big
like San Jose
controversy. Okay, San Jose is also. I mean. You're right.
I say, can I take a quick bathroom break?
Yeah, of course.
I told you I was gonna be out here. The Bay Area.
Yeah.
San Jose. I've seen some stuff recently, people saying like San Jose is not the Bay, and I'm like, you're tripping.
It is. Especially in terms of culture too. It's definitely part of the Bay Area.
Yeah. Like Stockton's not the Bay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's too far away.
That's way
like
too far.
Like Modesto's not the Bay.
Fairfield's not the
Fairfield.
Bay.
No, Fairfield's the Bay.
You think Fairfield's the Bay?
Fairfield's
Look
the Bay.
in the fucking camera and
Fairfield's the Bay Area. There was that group I used to fuck with in high school. What are they called? Damn. They were from Fairfield.
The fake Bay Aryans? Is what
You're fucked up. I'm going to find that song and be like, what the fuck? No, Fairfield's the Bay, but Vacaville is not the Bay.
Okay.
I don't care if they're 2 miles away. Vacaville is not the Bay.
What makes Fairfield the Bay Area?
I feel like there was enough like hyphy music that came out from Fairfield where I'm like, they're in there.
So yeah, what dictates... Is it a blend of geography and culture that dictates if you're from the Bay Area?
I say so. Because, like, in reality, Tracy's not that far from Oakland. But Tracy's not the Bay Area.
If anyone's
it's like 15 miles
Bay
away.
Area from Tracy, get out of town. Literally, get out of town. Get out of town and go to Oakland or something. Man.
I consider Fairfield the Bay.
How I gauge the Bay Area... A town is a part of the Bay Area as long as it has an ABG there, is what I'm thinking.
That's a lot, though.
If you go to...
That's a lot of places, Christian.
Vacaville does not have many Asian girls with long-ass eyelashes there.
True, but Fairfield does.
And San Jose's full of them. Okay. Yeah, okay.
San Jose's for sure full of them.
Oh, man, San Jose.
San Jose is basically like an Asian country, honestly.
San Jose is a bigger seafood city, is what it is. It's insane, dude. All these
bigger seafood city's crazy.
Yeah, man. San Jose, I mean...
Oh, no.
I think there's the most... San Jose has the most Vietnamese restaurants per capita.
Okay, yeah. It has so many boba shops.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at them and they look so cool. But there's no fucking way I'm driving to San Jose just for boba.
Yeah, it's so far away. But
it feels like a mission.
That's another way to kind of quantify how Bay Area certain places is. How many boba shops do you got? Right?
Concord's got a lot now.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of insane.
It is a lot.
Like you said, the per capita thing, like Concord might be up like the top now.
Just in the few past years, they started because in the past it used to just be quickly. Everything. Yes. Now we got Share Tea, we got Happy Lemon, we got Purple Cow, we got. Damn, I'm really just flashing my Asian
There's Mr.
card
Green
right
Bubble.
now.
Well, actually, that's Walnut Creek. I'm sorry. There's Boba Loca.
Milk Tea Lab.
God. There is Teaspoon.
Yeah.
Toad Sands Plaza. There is the Purple Cow actually turned into a place called Yummy Boba.
Oh, they changed it. It's not Purple Cow anymore. Or something,
yeah.
And every
one by the movie theater.
Yeah.
Yes, it's now Yummy Boba.
Damn, they changed that. And every Fully Hua Fat. Numbers 1 through 17.
You mean Kevin's Noodle House?
What?
You mean Kevin's Noodle House?
Did they change Fully Hua Fat to Kevin's Noodle House?
Is that the Vietnamese name for Kevin's Noodle House?
I'm just saying.
A different restaurant.
Fully Hua Fat is a noodle is a pho house that I've seen in Vallejo, in Concord, everywhere, and there's usually a number at the end of it.
I'm thinking like pho went yep or some shit.
That's right. I don't know, dude.
I'm so sorry. Pho went yep.
It's funny that you're asking me if you're saying it right. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm Filipino, dude.
That's crazy. Am I? Oh, that's fucking fucked up.
It's yeah, dude. The Bay Area. I mean, you can't go to Delaware and get yourself some good boba, can you? Was there good boba in New Orleans?
Maybe now. I don't even think that was a thing back when I was living there.
Then. They'd be like, "What's that?" What?
I don't think there was any such thing as milk tea in all of New Orleans. The closest you could probably get was like a Thai milk tea at a Thai restaurant. That's
yeah.
the closest you could get.
That's it. But then once you add tapioca there, and that's what white people are calling boba, is they call it tapioca.
Pearls, which I learned it's not even really tapioca.
It's not, huh?
My partner worked in boba when they were younger, and they said, yeah, this shit is like, it's not actually tapioca.
It's just rice balls, right? Brown
or
sugar
some
rice
kind
balls?
of mix of like some kind of starch and sugar.
Interesting.
But it's not actually tapioca.
Whatever it is, it's changed the world. It has changed the world.
Everyone loves boba now.
Oh, dude, the way to an ABG's heart is boba. and then maybe an AMF.
That's a crazy transition.
Or, dude,
oolong milk tea to an AMF is fucking nuts.
I mean, there's some places that have alcoholic boba. You know that, right?
Never seen that.
There's this place in Davis because they knew the ABGs were prevalent in Davis. There was this place called Lazy Cow, and it had alcoholic boba. But
interesting.
That's the way to a fucking stomach ache. Is
so it's like a cocktail milk, like fruit tea. Or was it alcohol and milk tea?
I'm assuming it was because there was milk tea, alcohol beverages, which is like not too far off. Let's say you go to a bar, you're ordering an espresso martini. You know, sometimes there's like milk,
like a Bailey's Irish cream kind of thing.
Exactly,
Kahlua.
Right? I just went to this Mexican restaurant yesterday where they had an horchata cocktail. And
that sounds popping.
It sounds popping, but it also sounds like it's gonna pop my guts too.
Yeah.
Afterwards,
was it like rum in it or something?
Probably.
You just ordered it. You don't know.
I didn't drink it. I just saw it on the menu.
Okay.
Were you a big partier growing up,
bro? I've never been a partier.
No?
Anyone who knows me knows like I don't like to go out like that.
It's a lot. Like
I'm very.
Would you consider yourself an introvert?
In certain aspects,
yeah.
I think I don't put myself really in main scenarios where I would have to be an introvert necessarily. Okay. So like I'm not going to the club. I'm not going to a bar. I'm not really going to like parties, like house parties. I'm just like, I like to chill and actually be able to hear you talk from this distance.
If I'm going to lose my voice after trying to socialize with anyone, it's I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so interesting being a performer, being an artist, and having, the qualities that you would kind of want in hand. It was like, if you're an extrovert and you go to the club, like you must obviously be a performer too,
right.
Like, right? It kind of like there's some translation there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, do you get nervous on stage?
Never.
No,
never. Not even the first time I perform.
Whoa.
I do not. There's like always like a 10-second interval where I'm like, what if I forget all my lyrics? But that pops up and then it like goes away really quick, and I'm like, I'm good.
That's a superpower to not have any nerves at all, because I get nervous for everything still.
You're just anxiety all the time. Walking anxiety.
I hide it well, except for when you saw me setting up, like I was like, it was showing a lot of it maybe.
I really couldn't tell. I think just in your head you were like really melting, and you look fine.
Yeah, dude, I was having a meltdown. But so you don't get nervous at all?
No. I think there was this, I remember seeing this quote, I think it was from like Kobe a while ago, saying something like, I've done so much work to prepare for every like moment I could come across that I'm not nervous for when it happens. I'm so prepared.
That's good.
Put up so much preparation for what I'm about to do that I'm not nervous, because I'm just like, it was that combined with like, I'm not worried about the outcome. Like I could just do what I do. Yeah. I feel like that's where the nerves come from, is you're worried about people's perception of you, or you're thinking about how you're going to do. And you're worried about all those things instead of just being like confident in your preparation. Wow. If you do that and you're not worried about the outcome, then you're just living in the moment doing your shit. Yeah. And I feel like you should be fine.
I think that's a superpower, especially amongst creatives, because I feel like a lot of creatives and artists, no matter how much they try to shake it off, is that we are worried about the perception of those that are watching us, because what we're doing is we're making a product for others, right?
And when, like you said, when you're performing, it can be a very vulnerable scenario, being up on a stage by yourself or with someone, some people, and you're like, oh, that's another thing. Like people really worry about fucking up. It's like I've like fucked up on stage a few times, just like, oh my bad, I'll just do it again. Yeah, I've literally been like, let's just run that back. Like I had fucked up like beginning of a song, like let's just restart it.
Yeah,
and I remember like people like tell me after, like, that was really cool that you just like started over. And I was like, yeah, I mean, like, who cares?
That's so
like, you're gonna fuck up. Like, thinking you're going to be perfect all the time is insane.
Yeah.
You're going to forget something or mess up or miss time or trip or something. It's like, just be like, my bad. Like, I have a really bad stuttering problem.
Mm-hmm. Do you?
You can't see it. Maybe it might pop up during this interview, but I'll get like caught on a word, but like bad for like 5 seconds. And I used to really, really make me very self-conscious. Yeah. And I hit a point in life where I was like, if it happens, be like, I stop and be like, my bad. This is what I'm trying to say.
I didn't notice at all. I wouldn't be able to like track that down.
It pops up in really random times. But it's like when I'm trying to say something too fast and I'm thinking about other things to say, I'll just like get stopped on a word. And it'll be like really awkward. It used to be awkward. And now I'm like, this is just part of my existence. So
it's cool that you have this awareness of these certain things that make you, right? Stopping a song and just saying, okay, I messed up, let's run that back. I think that's very admirable in ways, because a lot of people would just be like, oh, the show must go on, you just got to keep doing that, which is dope too.
Or let it like throw them off and really like get in their head and like kind of fuck them up. It's
like what we were talking about before. You're saying when we were talking about coffee, why are people getting mad about coffee? It's just coffee. Why are we getting mad about this? It's music. Let's feel good. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Because in the end, like, also, like, I think artists, musicians don't embrace the fact enough that they're like magicians, and people really revere what the fuck they're doing. Even as simple as it might seem to what you like from your perspective, like even someone like you freestyling on the show, like the majority of people would never even try to do what you're doing. Because they're worried about sounding stupid, about not being able to think fast. Like, they already reveal someone being able to freestyle and even just say bullshit. That's already like a superpower. So if you just embrace that and like live with that truth, like people, you being up on that stage is something that 95% of people would never do.
Public speaking is
just
is the biggest fear.
Yeah,
over death. That's the biggest public fear.
So nuts.
It's crazy. People would much rather die
than
speak in front of a huge crowd.
That's so crazy.
Which is why I'm thinking what we do is so dope, man. You get up and you get to rap in front of these people over beats that you made too, which is so dope. That's if you don't have a live band, which is really fucking cool.
Also done that too.
Yeah.
Which is sick.
So sick.
Got them both.
Yeah. With freestyling, for me, it's kind of in my brain how I try to translate that for people that are afraid of doing it. I'm just saying the stakes are low because everyone's in on the game that you're making this up on the spot. You're not prepping it. It's the whole difference. And I've talked about this before. Like I like to do improv, right? I did comedy improv growing up. And so comedy improv is dope to me because the expectations are lower because everyone knows that I'm making this up on the spot, as opposed to if I were to do stand up. This is something that I've been working on, that I've curated for X amount of days, months, or whatever. And I have a 5-minute set that I've worked on with the verbiage and the wordplay and everything, that it's supposed to make you laugh, right?
Right.
And that's how I think about like freestyling, as opposed to if I were to write a fucking bar.
Then the expectations, I guess, are changed.
Man. That's the difference. Do you freestyle a lot?
Not really, no.
Ooh.
But that's something that like I've been in my head a lot about. Like I'm worried about perception. So it still hits me in certain places. Like, but I'm working to get like past that, because in the end I'm just like, who cares?
Who cares? Dude?
Like, you're gonna repeat words, you're gonna say some dumb shit, like whatever.
I mean, if you were to think about it, like a lot of people, we forget shit. Like we're not gonna be thinking. I mean, we might be thinking about. Personally, I'll be thinking about how Christian messed up this one time, and no one else will remember that one time I messed up singing on stage years ago, right?
Yeah.
I have this story, but are you familiar with who CRSB is?
CRSB.
Chris Ramos and Sonny B. They're this duo, and they do island music. And they blew up in the Bay Area years ago, and I've been listening to them ever since I was in high school. Okay. And I used to be part of this a cappella group back in like 2016 to 2018. And at one point, I had the opportunity to perform on stage with my a cappella group in front of CRSB, this group that I had looked up to for a while. I fucked up a key change. Right? And I got to meet them afterwards, and like they were doing the nice thing of just like, oh, that was dope. But I could tell like they noticed that I messed up. I, full circle moment, had them on my podcast last month.
Wow.
And I brought up that moment and they didn't even remember, dude.
But you remember very clearly.
But I remember very clearly. But then we hold so near and dear to our hearts our mistakes that we forget to acknowledge our triumphs.
Yeah. No, for real. Yeah, that's such a human thing to like be worried about one bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, like, when you were talking about earlier, like being grateful for shit, like, I always spotlight all the good stuff happening. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I try to make a point of like being at like very aware and like thankful for things.
Dude, you're so positive.
Because the bad, like, I'm not gonna dwell on like bad shit. You know, I don't like such a cliche thing to say, but I don't like bad energy, which I hope no one would. But
no one's looking for bad
for
energy.
bullshit. But some people don't know how to separate it from themselves. That's a big thing.
What do you mean separate what from themselves?
People don't like being around bullshit, but they will stay around bullshit.
Yeah.
Like you want to be around better people, but you keep kicking it with people who they might be good people, but they're draining your energy. They're not doing shit, and you don't know how to separate from that.
And that goes into this realm of like trauma. Like, what was your childhood like, right? Because that's like why some people will, like some girls or guys, will stay in toxic relationships because that's what they witnessed their parents going through. Yeah, like that's how a man talks to a woman, or like any kind of relationship that you're in. That's what I know love is, right?
Right.
So I'm familiar and comfortable with that because I grew up with that, right?
That's such an insane concept to think.
We are our childhood, yeah.
That's so wild.
It's so nuts.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. So what are some like pivotal parts of that happened in your past that made you who you are today? You're super namaste. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like you were a part-time monk.
Right. Yeah. At like 14. At like 10 years old, just on a mountaintop. I actually used to have a really bad anger problem when I was younger. Like really? I really bad. Like I would like blow up and like throw fits and shit. And like up until like 6th, 7th grade, 5th, 6th grade, maybe a little bit earlier. My time frame is kind of like foggy with that. But I definitely had like a really bad anger problem. I don't know if I grew out of it. I don't know if like being thrown into a whole new area and thing just like made me have to be more calm.
Okay.
Or something. I don't know if that's like I'm just making up reasons on the spot.
It could be
potentially, but I think I was just like naturally my personality. I think I've always been a really chill kid for the most part. My parents had told me stories about like me being out in like restaurants like 3-4 years old and just being like really calm and like not really crying about a whole lot of shit.
Wow.
So I guess it's just naturally how I am.
Wow, dude.
Honestly,
it's a superpower, man. In an art form where people get emotional and sensitive, for you to be this patient and kind of just like wait for your blessings and like count your blessings. That's a dope thing, dude. And like that's something I'm trying to work on too. Yeah, man. Do you want to do an improv scene or freestyle at the end of this? Do you know? I think
improv would be fun.
Improv would be fun.
Yeah. I like to just bullshit, make stuff up all the time, so I think that'd be fun.
Hell yeah. Well, before we get into it, 1 second. Before we get into it, I want to talk about your album a little bit more and like your future endeavors and whatnot. So,
sick.
Album's out.
Yep.
Baddies out there. Stream it, but if you really want to support the homie, buy that shit on Even.
The links are in my bio, you feel me?
You know, people you put your blood, sweat, and tears into objects in the mirror. Yeah. And so it's only right that people that want to support you, once again, don't buy that avocado toast. Just buy his album.
It's also pay what you want. So you could buy the avocado toast and then pay me $1.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do.
Even $1. I mean, like, it changes the game when you know that if it's even just a few cents, that would take thousands of streams.
Yeah.
Just go into your pocket directly. Or you get to help pay the people that help you made the album.
Legitimately. Actual money. Like, even if it's $10, like, it's better than, like, 400th of a cent or whatever the fuck they're doing right now.
Yeah, man. What's next? So you're working on just like pushing this album, but do you have any like vision of what's to come?
Not as far as like music. No, I have no idea what I'm going to be doing later. I'm just like this whole year I just want to like be promoting, like pushing the album, promoting the album. The next thing I have coming I'm doing a show on the 29th of this month, which is June.
Nice.
I'm opening for a friend's band. So that'd be cool in the city. But as far as like away from like just performance stuff necessarily, I have a really cool thing I'm working on right now. There's this coffee shop. They have 2 locations. It's called Rooted. They have one in Pleasant Hill and one in Walnut Creek. I've been going there for a few years. My friend Chris, who did the cover art for the album, he works at the Pleasant Hill location. He's been there for a couple years. And I was trying to think of like cool ways to promote the album and like do something different than just like regular promotion stuff. So I reached out. I was like, what if I collab with them, did like a collab drink? So I emailed them and they got back to me the next day. They're like, okay, let's do it. So
they were down for that?
Down. I also like I've met the owners. They like know me. Yeah. So I guess it was more. It wasn't like a full stranger coming at them. They know like they already know who I am, my music and stuff.
Really fucking cool.
So we're talking like we have pretty much all the details laid out. We're gonna be doing an ube raspberry latte.
Oh, and it's an ube.
It's gonna be at both locations for 2 weeks, from July 19th to August 2nd. And I'm gonna be doing a pop up at both shops, at the Pleasant Hill shop on July 19th, and then the Walnut Creek shop on July 26th. I'm having really special CDs made right now. Like I'm doing the whole like CD booklet, everything under like stuff under the CD tray, all that shit that Chris is designing.
Nice.
We're doing like a limited run of shirts to commemorate the collaboration. I got some keychains I'm gonna have, some posters that Alex made.
Nice.
So that's like the really big thing I'm focused on right now is this collab with the coffee shop.
Is there a particular name for that drink that's coming out?
I was talking with some homies. I have this shout out to Toshi, who I got to meet in person a couple weeks ago. I was telling him about it and I was like trying to think of an idea, and he was like, "Oh, call it the Ube Gabe." And I was like,
Ube Gabe.
You're smart as shit. So that's what's gonna be called.
Ube Gabe.
The Ube Gabe.
Ube Gabe. Okay, yeah. I fucking love that. That's so dope, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Cheers to that, and shout out to you, brother. Let's get this improv scene going,
right, dude,
and then we'll end the episode and get you out of here, dude.
My God.
The way the improv scenes go, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with, is that they could be inspired by anything and everything having to do with the episode that we just recorded, or it could be inspired by nothing at all.
Okay.
Did you want to start it? Or did you want me to start it?
I'll let you go ahead and start.
Okay, sounds good.
See what happens.
Wow. So yes. So you're. I mean, I really like you because you think Fairfield's part of the Bay.
Are you cutting sushi right now?
Because I'm such about the Bay Area.
Yeah, I mean, Fairfield, like, if you think about it, like, it's close to the Bay. Yeah. So if you can drive to the Bay, from it, then it's the Bay Area.
Yeah, I know. I have this friend from Tracy.
Oh,
yeah,
and that's not.
What? Say it.
Is it Tracy?
Tracy. You could drive to the Bay from Tracy.
Like, you're talking about like a person, like the place.
Her name is Tracy, but she is from Tracy. And she drives to the Bay because she's already in the Bay. Yeah, no, she's just already.
You can't get to the Bay from Tracy.
She says it's part of the Bay Area.
There's a blockade from Tracy. You can't get to the Bay.
I don't think there's a blockade.
Yeah, you can't go there. Like,
what do you mean?
You're on the freeway and like there's a wall.
I don't think
on the freeway. So you drive, you gotta go back the other way.
I think that people from so you have to fly over the blockade or climb the blockade?
You can't even get to the Bay from Tracy. They won't let you. It's like a no travel zone.
What else are you gonna say? What else are you gonna say next? The Vacaville is not part of the Bay? No.
There's like a dam.
What do you mean a dam?
But there's no bridge over the dam.
I'm pretty sure I drove to Vacaville yesterday.
You didn't.
It's 10 minutes from here.
They got like a hologram Bay Area, so you think you're going to the Bay.
What?
But it's not the Bay.
I don't think so.
That's literally just like a Dutch Bros.
I've lost my appetite. Vacaville's not part of the Bay. They have a BJ's there, and everyone knows that BJ's is a very cultural representation of Bay Area food.
But it's a Vacaville BJ's.
What does that mean? There's a BJ's.
They get their produce from like Chico. Is Chico the Bay?
Chico's the Bay. Chico's the Bay.
We got some problems here.
San Jose's not the Bay though.
You got me fucked up.
Yes, you got me fucked up. Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree.
No, we'll never. There's no. You're dumb.
Have you? But I'm not.
You're dumb.
I'm not dumb. I'm not dumb.
I can't fuck with this. You're unbelievable.
What, are you one of those guys that thinks just because there's 20 boba shops in a certain city that makes it part of the Bay? No.
I mean, it's gotta be at least 15. But yeah, you're on the right track.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
How many boba shop Fairfield got?
But it has,
or where else? What do you say? Tracy?
Tracy has boba.
I don't even know boba is in Tracy.
They have a faliwa fat.
So you want pearl with that? Is that what they ask you when you go to the spot?
When I go there,
Pearl, no pearl?
I ask for ube smoothie with tapioca.
They have taro. They don't know what ube is. They got a taro smoothie.
I don't believe in superstitions. What, tarot card readings? That's weird. That's weird. That's fucking weird.
That's okay. You got a point. You got a point.
All right. So
I don't know what your point is, but you got a point somewhere.
I got a point somewhere. I know. I'm convincing.
You're the smartest ABG I've ever met.
Las Vegas is the Bay.
Because everyone from there just moves to Vegas.
Yeah, Hawaii is the Bay.
Hawaii is yeah. Hawaii is the Bay.
Mm-hmm. New York,
the ocean, the Pacific Ocean area.
Yeah. Oh, are you a blood now because you're just pronouncing all the B's? Bick and back being bull. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was on my set tripping shit, but it's over now.
All right, this date's working out. I'm down. Take me home.
Okay, let's go. Tobaccoville?
Tobaccoville, the Bay. All right, end scene. Perfect. That was great.
That was solid.
That was a solid improv scene.
You were really in that bitch.
What do you mean it could have been better? You did great.
Oh, okay.
You had a game going on. Yeah. I
was trying to fuck with you.
Have you done improv before?
No.
No.
Well,
there you go. Popped your improv cherry as well, dude. Hell yeah, dude.
2 for 1.
Gabe, thank you for coming through, my guy.
Bro, Christian, thank you for having me. For real.
Before we get out of here, look into the barrel of the camera and tell the baddies, tell the listeners where they could find you on social media and all that stuff and what they have to look forward to.
I'm pretty much only on Instagram for real. It's ITSAYGABE. It's Ay Gabe. Mm-hmm. Also on Twitter, but I ain't really, or X. I don't even use that shit really.
Yeah.
But I mean, my debut album, Objects in the Mirror, is out now. You can buy it on Even. You can stream it on any platform if you want. I got that collaboration with Rooted come out July 19th or July 26th. July 19th in Pleasant Hill. July 26th in Walnut Creek. I'll be posting about it, of course. But come out to the pop-up. Come get some cool merch and try an ube raspberry latte.
Yeah, ube Gabe.
Ube Gabe. Yeah. Come drink the ube Gabe. And other than that, I got more stuff in my mind working, but nothing like solid yet. But that's pretty much where I'm at right now.
Hell yeah. Dope, dude. Baddies, you guys know where to find me. You guys know where to find the podcast because you're already here. One last thing, look again into the barrel of your camera and leave the listeners, leave the baddies with something they could go about their day with that reminds them that it can't be that bad.
I would say it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. A lot of things are not that serious. Like really, like next time you're feeling stressed about something, like really think about how it actually affects your life now or in the future. If it's really something you should actually be giving that much energy to, and kind of try to bring yourself back to the present moment and think like this actually is not that pressing, and I don't have to actually give in to these feelings of anxiety or worry or whatever it is. So just try to assess what deserves your energy and attention, what doesn't.
Yep. Love that. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks
for coming through.
Bro, thank you for having me.
Until next time, take it easy, baddies. See ya. Love you.
Shout out, Alex.
It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad.